Hey, what's going on, kings and queens? What's going on, my kings and my queens, my prime and my 10 hours? How many of you guys remember when this movie came out? Okay, I posted on my social media feeds and stuff like that. I got a great, amazing reviews and comments, and I really appreciate it. And so, if you guys are not familiar, this is based on a true story. And I remember this a long time ago. I remember the lady that Tammy Woman played. But when they talked about it back then, they didn't have too many ins and outs of it. And since this movie came out, now a lot of more information has come out about the situation. So, oh hell no, we ain't doing no copyrights over here, boo boo. No. So, this is based on a true story about this woman. She was abusing her family members and strangers that had this ability, so she would take a check and spin it and just have them locked up in the basement and stuff like that. So, let's get into some more deep dive on this situation. If you're here for the first time, welcome. Let's go. Let's get it. Subscribe if you want to. Subscribe to the channel if you want to. Notification bell button. When I upload, you guys will be notified. Also, thumbs up. Let's go. Okay, so I put it on my community tab again, you guys. So go over there and vote. I put been getting, but I put get. If you live next door to a person who's getting abused, would you report it? Yes or no? So, so far I only got 2 people. So go over there to my community board and vote on if you was living next door to a person that was getting abused. Would you report it? Yes or no? And also let me know in the comment section if you were living next door to a person and you know and willingly know that they was getting abused and you actually seen it. Or even if it's something suspicious. First, you will try to do a little investigation on your own, maybe. Because, like, in this situation, when they found out people was onto them, they kept moving. So, you don't want that to happen, right? You don't want them to move, and then they live next door to somebody, and then that they're not going to report it, want to mind their own business. So, you will try to do the best way you can without them noticing that someone's on to them. Because if people would have that mentality on, I'm just gonna mind my business, then they would have been saved a long time ago, in my opinion only. So go over to my community tab and vote on this. If you live next door to a person that you know is being abused, would you report it? So let me give my disclaimer now. Copyright disclaimer under the Section 107 for the Copyright Act of the 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. For use is prevented by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So that is my disclaimer for my copyright people for fair use. Noted. Also, warning, some of these views may be disturbing. This video may be disturbing to viewers. And so, noted, warning, some of the stuff you guys may view is going to be disturbing to some. And if so, please jump off and join me under one of my content that I already uploaded. Thank you so much, and I appreciate all the love and support over here. Thanks to my new subscribers. Hey, y'all. Hey. Also, if you're here for the first time, welcome. Subscribe if you want to do so. Thumbs up, because it can push you through the algorithm. And I just, like I said, thanks each and every one of you guys for just believing in my content over here and enjoying my content. And we can just go up from here. And, you know, I work by myself, so I don't have a team. So everything that I do by myself. And I'm just trying to get better with my content and make my content, you know, more interesting to some viewers and just not giving you guys my commentary. I want to make it exciting for you guys to hear me talk and make the videos more exciting, even though some of the videos may be a little sad or whatever. But I want my content and my commentary to be, not just drawn on out. So I just want to be more appealing to you guys when you guys view my content. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Thank you. So this Boogaboo monster right here, that is Linda. That's the woman that Tammy Roman was playing. Yeah, she was playing her in the movie, the Lifetime movie that came out. So the house, I think it was House of Horrors, or the girl down in the basement. I can't believe what the name of the actually Lifetime movie was. But anyway, this is the Booger monster that Tammy Roman was playing. So let's get into the situation of what happened to these people that was not under her care. The one that I can say kidnapped, because she did take them against she brought them to her house under false pretense. Put it like that. Yeah, she brought these people in her house under false pretense, on thinking they was going to get something better, do something better, but she took advantage of their disability, and that is absolutely not acceptable. So I hope this woman's still in justice today, because she had been going in and out of jail a lot, and she's been getting out for whatever reason, and I don't know, she was trying to use her charm, but that what Tammy Roman was doing. She was using her charm, but this woman, I don't know if she was using her charm. She probably can talk real good, because she like a fucking sugar. I'm getting a little too excited here. Getting a little too angry. So let's get into her story and what she got to say.
And graphic in nature. Viewer discretion is advised. The historic community of Tacony is a great neighborhood in Philadelphia and is distinguished by its large park and train to a furnace. There was no bathroom or access to food and water anywhere in that basement, save for a bucket used as a makeshift toilet. All 4 victims were in dire need of immediate medical treatment, and calls were made to authorities for help. According to later police reports, 2 of the mentally disabled adult victims had been held captive for roughly 11 years, and they had 2 children that were also being held captive by Weston and her gang of cohorts. Police discovered additional victims in Weston's upstairs apartment, and a total of 10 people were taken into protective custody. 8 were children, the youngest a 2-year-old. Police described the 2-year-old as being so badly malnourished and underdeveloped that she appeared to be a 6-month-old baby. In addition to these children and teens, 2 other young people had also briefly been in custody before being released. Police worked to determine the nature of their relationships with both the suspects and captives, since a few were related. In a shocking discovery, authorities identified Weston's 19-year-old niece, Beatrice, naked, alone, and locked in a small closet.
Beatrice Weston has a body covered in scars.
Okay, the niece, the girl Beatrice Weston, that's the girl that was playing Remy Ma's daughter in the Lifetime movie. So this is the niece of Linda, and she was playing Remy Ma's daughter in the movie. So I'm trying to give y'all, the ones who have not seen it, I'm sorry, I'm giving y'all some tea on here. Well, ain't no tea, but I'm giving y'all the movie if y'all haven't seen it, so spoiler alerts. But yeah, she played Remy Ma's daughter, and she was the one that was she wasn't the last one, because there was another lady, because I don't know how true some of this details in the Lifetime movie was, but she is the niece to the ugly ass woman that I showed y'all earlier. So she played Remy Ma's daughter in the Lifetime movie.
From being cut and burnt. The dark spot on her forehead, she says, is from being pistol whipped, and fuchsia lipstick hides more pain.
She bust my teeth out with the bat before the landlord called the cops. I was in that closet for 2 weeks.
Beatrice says her hell began at 10 when Linda was given custody of her. Her lawyers contend this was city negligence, since Linda had served time for starving a man to death in 1981.
She put me in basements, locked me in closets, attics, freezing, like all these places was freezing.
Again, you guys, this is very disturbing to see and to hear, and I apologize to those who are triggered by this. Again, I did my disclaimer already, so I'm sorry if you guys are triggered. My apologies. Please watch another one of my content that I made. If I just trigger anyone, that's not my intention. I'm just trying to give you guys some backstory on the content that I made where I uploaded about the Lifetime movie, and this is based on a true story. So, thumbs up the content, please. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Also, leave a comment in the comment section. Join me on my community tab. And if you're the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. And my returning kings and queens. Hey, y'all, hey. And I am who? I am that girl. I am Queen 318 Rotated Diva. And you tuning into what? Huh? House of Queens TV, baby.
Every day, Beatrice begged God for relief, but she says after 2 other hostages allegedly died from the abuse, her own fate seems certain.
I thought I was gonna die.
She now deals with flashbacks.
I cry a lot at nighttime. It helps me calm down.
Still, Beatrice is in school and in therapy, has a best friend, and goals for her future.
I want to be a nurse, and I just want to be happy.
Experts say that is possible.
We are an amazing species, and we have an amazing ability to overcome and keep on kicking.
By the time police concluded their investigation at the crime scene, veteran investigators had dubbed it the House of Horrors.
My grasp of the English language limits how I can describe the facts and the evidence of this case.
The intense investigation into what's being called a, quote, House of Horrors has shocked even the most veteran police officers in Philadelphia.
It is absolutely one of the worst things that you'll see in terms of what an individual can do to someone else.
There are many tragic and heartbreaking elements to this case, but there is one victim that haunts the hearts and minds of neighbors who not only knew her, but cared for and loved her. The case of the girl known as Little Elle. Chevelle McGill was one such neighbor who had spent a lot of time with Little Elle, agreeing to frequently babysit for Weston and eventually offered to adopt her. According to McGill, Weston initially agreed to the adoption, but the McGills claim they never saw the child after 2007. There is some speculation that Weston had kidnapped the infant and later sold the child for profit. As of today, Little Elle's whereabouts and fate remain unknown. On November 13, 2018, one of the women held captive in the House of Horrors, Tamara Breeden, spoke out about her time locked up in Weston's basement. Weston and her accomplices kidnapped Breeden in 2001, after Weston said she was going to hire the woman as a babysitter. Although Breeden was rescued in 2011, the 10 years held in captivity still haunt her even today.
Did you ever think you'd get out?
The other guy was going to die.
Okay, so this young lady right here, she played the woman that raised my daughter when she first came into the house. She was the one that took her under her wing and nurtured her and cared for her and allowed her to keep going on and on. And hopefully one day they will be rescued. See, in the Lifetime movie, I believe she passed away, but that was not true. So I believe her character was the young lady who took Miss Weston in and nurtured her and took care of her and kept the faith that they would be rescued one day. So that's, I believe, her character was in the movie, the Lifetime movie.
Idea. She hit me with a pistol, like a gun pistol.
All this time later,
Because I remember that scene in the movie.
She messed my ear up right here.
Tamara Breeden's body carries reminders of 10 years in captivity.
I kept on praying to Jesus.
And see why I say I remember that her character is her, because she did hit her in the face with a gun But I don't think it was her. I think it was him, the guy that did it. So that's why I believe they offed her character off in the Lifetime movie, but that wasn't true. So when she said about the gun hitting the head, that's why I believe her character was the young lady that was already held captured in the Lifetime movie because of what's just explaining that happened to her. And I recall seeing those incidents in the Lifetime movie.
You know, pay the guy and say, hope I get back home with my family.
Breeden is developmentally disabled, a disability she shared with the 3 other adults found imprisoned with her in this dark basement, one of them chained to the boiler. Adults who needed caregivers given no care at all.
Sleep with a hard board, go to the bathroom with a bucket, there was no light.
Breeden tells us the nightmares about her imprisonment have ended. Nowadays, she spends her time learning at a school for the developmentally disabled and caring for her children who were born in captivity.
No, I'm just free. I feel nice. I feel happy.
A jury awarded $45 million to Tamara Breeden after hearing evidence that she had been kidnapped, starved, beaten, and prostituted for 10 years. As the investigation continued, authorities discovered that the Weston gang had shuttled their captives from Philadelphia to Texas, Virginia to West Palm Beach, Florida, and back again to avoid detection.
West Palm Beach police becoming a much bigger role in this entire investigation. They say that Linda and her crew lived in at least 3 homes in West Palm Beach. Now, I talked to a neighbor who said she saw the abuse, and in fact, she talked to one of the people arrested almost every day.
People be hollering and crying down here, but I thought it was the children and stuff.
But Vernica Clark says she learned that crying and yelling came from the mentally disabled adults living in the house.
And it was so much crying. Then I heard a lady one night, and she was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Clark says she lived next door to Weston, Thomas, and Wright. Now local detectives are asking her questions as they start playing a bigger role in the case. They're investigating these 3 West Palm Beach houses, all in the same area, all once occupied by Weston and her crew. Clark shared with detectives her story about how she spent a lot of time talking to one of the men arrested, Gregory Thomas, but only when Weston was gone.
He came and told me one day, he said, I'm trying to call my people. And I said that, well, you ain't got no cell phone. He said that we can't have cell phone, only my girlfriend and her children.
But even though Gregory shared now key details in the case with Clark, she said he too was guilty of abusing the mentally handicapped adults.
And so my thing is this, you guys. I don't want to stop it right there.
Red picked up one of them.
Okay, so my thing is this. She's telling him that she stayed next door and she's seen this, seen that. My question is this. Did she call the authorities? Did she alert anyone to the situation? I haven't seen this. This is my first time watching this, so we're watching this together as it plays out on here. So I don't want to jump the gun, but again, like I'm saying, that I wanted, did she alert the authorities what was going on? Did she videotape or have any type of evidence? Only not from what she say, because she can tell people anything. But did she alert the authorities to the situation? So that's why on my community tab, I raised the question: if you would stand next door to someone and that you know who was being abused, would you alert authorities? Would you report it? In my opinion, yes, I would. And me being me, the person I am today, I'm finna call some people. Cause we not finna do this over here, not next door to me. I got some down the ride family members. We gonna handle this as street justice. Because the police in the movie, he was on their side. So we finna do what we gotta do, cause this ain't finna happen. Not next door to me. You did?
And and throw them down. Throw them down and hit them. I thought I tried to talk to them, and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And that lady said, so I asked her, I said, "Why they saying no?" He said, "Oh, no."
Was he scared of his girlfriend too?
Said there was a house full. She said while the adults often looked abused, the children in the house, when allowed outside, looked just fine.
And we talked to the owner of that house that you saw there in the video, and the owner said that they have been in contact with detectives since the weekend, and they've advised them not to speak to anyone simply because this is all still under investigation. Now, possibly the most chilling piece of information that Clark shared with me today, she said this all was going on just a couple of weeks ago. I asked her when the family left. She said around October 5th or 6th.
To keep the cost of care low, they fed their captives with depressant-spiked beans and ramen. And when supplies ran low, they forced them to eat their own and other people's waste. All the while, they lured in victim after victim by snatching them off street corners, proposing romantic relationships, and even forcing their captives to have children together so Weston could file new government benefit claims. These facts led to the formation of a federal task force headed by the FBI that worked around the clock attempting to locate as many as 50 possible victims of the fraud and kidnapping ring.
Have either of you all seen a case like this before?
No.
Never. Federal prosecutors Richard Barrett and Faith Taylor immediately recognized that the case broke new legal ground. They called it a hate crime under new law, arguing that the ringleader, Linda Weston, targeted her victims because of their disability, pretending to be a generous friend.
If you were a man, she'd be your girlfriend. If you were a woman, she'd be your girlfriend. If you needed a mother, she'd be your mother.
She lied every month to the Social Security Administration as to what she was using the money for.
Some of the victims recount children they had that there is no record of. They recount other victims who we could not trace.
And in one horrific incident, Weston admitted she had a man locked in a closet under a staircase, where she fed him once a day and directed others to unleash a pit bull on him. The dog bit off half the man's right ear, authorities said. Woodard, an accomplice of Weston, would later admit he beat and pistol-whipped the victim and threatened to shoot him after the man tried to flee. While Linda Weston was without question the ringleader behind all of this criminal activity, she did not act alone. Her accomplices included Eddie Wright, Gregory Thomas Sr., Nicholas Woodard, and she even used her own daughter, Jean McIntosh. In total, investigators estimate that the Weston gang received approximately $212,000 in Social Security checks from 2001 to 2011. As the investigation deepened, police discovered that Weston had an extensive criminal past. Linda Weston was in her late teens when her mother Alice Weston died in the 1970s. Of the 13 children, several went to live with grandparents, while others stayed with Linda and an older sister. The abuse began shortly thereafter, and according to her brother, this involved forced incest among her siblings, mental and physical abuse, drugging, and eating cockroaches. The siblings said that Miss Weston sometimes forced some of her sisters to have sex with their brothers and cousins so they could become pregnant with children who would bring in more benefit checks. The first known murder committed by Linda Ann Weston was Bernardo Ramos in 1981. During this time, Linda had been living with her pregnant sister, Venus. When Bernardo questioned if he was the father of the unborn child, Linda and Venus beat him with a hammer, locked him in a coat closet, and starved him to death. I remember him beating on the doors, scratching and stomping, said a sibling who testified at Weston's 1983 murder trial, after which Linda was sentenced to just 8 years in prison. Weston broke Bernardo's toes with a hammer when her brother tried to feed him food, and eventually had him dispose of the body by wheeling it to a vacant house. Police discovered the body several days later. Upon her release from prison for murder, Weston contacted DHS to regain custody of the children. But the state failed to check Weston's criminal record and granted her custody. Court records show that a person living with Weston in 2008 died from what was at the time listed as natural causes. The person's family has now asked that her death be re-examined. Authorities never determined Weston's involvement. The record regarding the sentencing of 2 of the accomplices, Gregory Thomas Sr. and Nicholas Woodard, remains unclear. But what we do know is Linda Weston pled guilty to 196 federal counts, including 2 counts of murder, conspiracy, racketeering, kidnapping, human trafficking, hate crimes, forced labor, and benefits fraud. Despite Weston's defense claims that she had been abused and prostituted by her mother, the trial judge wasn't swayed when it came to sentencing.
I know that's right.
In September 2015, Weston was sentenced to life in prison.
I know that's right. And all this takes, you guys, is just, I know that them workers be having a lot of cases on them, on their hands. It just takes just a little more effort into look through some of these cases and to go out and do welfare checks. I mean, you apply for jobs. People apply for jobs for certain reasons. I'm not going to go apply for a job just because I need some money. I'm going to go apply for a job that I know I like and I can get along with my coworkers. And I think being a social worker, I don't know if you have to have an degree or something like that. You got to go to school. I'm not sure. But, especially in this type of field, if you don't like your job and you think it's stressful, or if they put too much on your plate, you knew this job was that type of job when you apply for it. So, why did you apply? So, I don't know. Why did they even get in this field if it was too much for them to handle? They have too much paperwork, or they have too many clients. The stress that you doing and the lack of you caring cause these people in the situation lives to be taken from them and to be tortured for many, many years because y'all didn't take the time out to do a welfare check to keep up on the things that y'all need to do. Go beyond your work. And being a social worker, your job is not just your job description. You have to go you have to go above and beyond in this type of field. Because anybody can play a fool. The devil's in sheep clothing. Oh, everything is nice. They're going to school. They have nice clothes. Look at the refrigerator. It's full of food. Look at their clothing. Oh, she fell down the stairs. Or she got injured at school. She was cleaning how kids are. They play rough. Yeah, shit like that. And then we have Social Security. You have a choice to do a phone call or go sit down with their ass. It ain't no more than 30 minutes interview on the phone. And they go a whole another year. Unless someone call with a complaint. And then they don't come out and investigate, they'll call you. And then they want to see the client. If they have to pay E. Other than that, they ain't coming and checking on nobody. They ain't finna do no welfare checks. Not for no SSI. No disability. It's not that type of job. So people need to take time out to do what's right, and we can avoid situations like this. That's just my opinion. Let me know in the comment section if y'all agree with me. Again, welcome. Subscribe if you want to do so. Comment, share, thumbs up. Go to the community tab. Let me know what you guys thought about this commentary and my content. And I love you guys so much. Thank you so much.
Years. Jean McIntosh pled guilty in December 2014 to charges including conspiracy to commit racketeering, hate crimes against the disabled, and kidnapping, resulting in death. In August 2018, the court sentenced McIntosh to 40 years in federal prison. Eddie Wright was sentenced to 27 years in federal prison. The House of Horrors case remains one of the most disturbing cases of human torture and abuse in American history. This is easily one of the hardest cases I've ever looked at. The horrific level of torture and abuse astounds me. It takes a special kind of monster to commit heinous crimes against children and the disabled. And the fact that she got away with it for decades is insane.
Okay.
The state enabled a convicted murderer to regain custody of innocent children, allowing the evil to continue for another decade. I gotta be honest, this stuff makes my blood boil. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you would like to support the channel,
It's a thing called life. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Put your faith in God. He will see you through. He is all understanding. I love you. God love you. I hope you love yourself even more. Keep it in mind. It'll get greater later. Baby. Love you guys. Thank you so much, so much. Bye. Yeah.